Hello everyone, Catweazle here, welcome to the channel and welcome back to our playthrough of Arkham Horror and the End of Everything, which is all in for Christmas. All the expansion boards, 8 investigators, virtually every card in the game. And we are just about to start turn 9. But before we do, there is just one thing, and it's regarding the hunting horror, which you remember was at the Silver Twilight Lodge. And obviously it got activated because it's a diamond monster, and I had it going over to poor old Tony, who was in the streets of Northside. But if we actually read it again, when it moves, the hunting horror moves to the nearest investigator in a street area or unstable location. And I forgot about the unstable location, because the nearest unstable location with an investigator is in fact the graveyard, which has got Jim in it. So it's actually going to move here. So it's not going to bother Tony, it's going to bother Jim. So we've moved the hunting horror correctly now. Okay, so I think that's it for corrections that I spotted while I was doing editing. So let's move straight into turn 9. And here we are with Tony. What's Tony going to do? Well, we're not going to move any of his sliders. We're going to keep those the same. He's just going to do a bit of a trot round downtown. First of all, he's going to go to Arkham Asylum. He's going to hand off the newspaper assignment to Leo. He's also going to give Leo some cash. And then he's going to move to the Bank of Arkham and get himself a bank loan. So that is going to be it for Tony this turn. Next up is George Barnaby. And here we are with George. Okay, so George, first things first, he's going to get $2 because he's got a retainer. Then we're going to roll for it. We need anything but a 1. He gets a 5 again, that's brilliant. We're rolling very well for this retainer. What is George going to do? Well, we're not going to move any of his sliders or anything, and he is going to go to the curiosity shop. It's about time he spent some of this money. We are, yes, hoping for another Elder Sign, but if we get a good weapon, then let's get one of those, because we've got a lot of monsters keep coming out on the board, and the nasty ones, so let's get a few more weapons, I think. Okay, so that is it for George. Next up is Bob Jenkins. And here we are with Bob. So what we're going to do with Bob, well, we are going to move one of his sliders. We're going to use his 1 focus, and we're going to get his luck up to 4, seeing as he's in another world. Then what we're going to do is roll for his bank loan. So come on, Bob, and he gets a 5. That's brilliant. He doesn't have to pay anything back on his bank loan. He's then going to spend 3 of his dollars, and he's going to get himself another clue. I think that puts him up to 9, and he will get 7 change. So I think that's the last clue he will possibly buy. He should have enough clues now to seal this gate. He's bought himself a few re-rolls there. Okay, so what's this? Oh right, I could have discarded that to save the terror level going up. Damn! Okay, I'll try and remember that. I guess we should have used that before, shouldn't we? He's had it all game. Never mind. Anyway, so that's Bob. That's it for him. Next up is Joe Diamond. And here we are with Joe. First things first, let's refresh the golden sword of your Hatala. And what are we going to do? Well, we're going to roll for his bank loan first. May as well do that. And he gets a 1. Damn it. So we'll get rid of that 1. We don't like rolling 1s. But yes, he's going to have to exhaust his credit rating in order to pay his bank loan off. Right, so what's Joe going to do this turn? Well, actually, what he's going to do, he's going to leave Jim in the lurch a bit. I've had a think about it, and I think it's just, we've got to close the gate. Let's get in the gate with this Elder Sign, and the easiest way to do that is just to use the pentagram of blood on that ghost, and that's what we're going to do. Fortunately, it leaves Jim with the hunting horror, but c'est la vie. You know, we've got a world to save here. And it's not like Joe doesn't have a chance, he does have a slight chance. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to use a pentagram of blood. We're going to kill the ghost. Then Joe is going to move down into the woods and get into that gate. If we can seal that gate, which we should be able to with the Elder Sign, and Bob can seal his gate, we're only one gate away from the win. So let's go for it. Let's not hang around. Let's not spend too much stamina from Joe in actually, you know, trying to kill the ghost himself. So what he'll do is he will use the pentagram of blood. The ghost has only got 1 toughness, so it'll only cost him 1 stamina. Let's do that. Poor old Jim will just have to fend for himself. Okay, that's it for Joe. Are we going to move his sliders? No, we're not. We'll keep them where they are. Next up is Jackie. And here we are with Jackie. What we're going to do with Jackie? Well, we're not going to move any of her sliders anywhere because she's going to stay in Harney Jones's shack. She's going to get herself another sanity back. But we are going to do something. We are actually going to use her psychic ability. So, when you resolve this card, when you receive this card, gain 1 sanity. Well, we did that. Upkeep. You may allow any one investigator to give one of his skill cards to another investigator. That is what we're going to do. And Tony Morgan is going to give fisticuffs to Jim Culver. Any phase after making any combat check, spend 2 clue tokens to add 1 success to the result. You may do this as often as you like. So he's going to use this. He's got a few clue tokens. George has got a few clue tokens as well. Remember, we've still got 2 at the Black Cave to be picked up. So why not give Jim a fighting chance with this against the hunting horror? So he's going to use fisticuffs. So we'll transfer that across to Jim. Does mean that Tony hasn't got any skills, but I think helping Jim out, let's give him a good chance. We are letting him swing in the wind a bit, so let's at least give him some help. Okay, so I don't think there's anything else for Jackie. No, she's just going to stay at that shack, so we don't need to move anything around. That's it for her. Next up is Wilson Richards. And here we are with Wilson. Again, very, very quick for Wilson. We're not going to move any of his sliders. All he's doing is keeping rifts under control in Kingsport. So he's going to go to Congregational Hospital and get rid of that rift token there. So that is it for Wilson Richards. Next up is Jim Culver. And here we are with Jim. First of all, sorry Jim. So we're leaving you to deal with the hunting horror. First things first though, we are going to use his focus. And what we're going to do is we're just going to pop his fight down and his will up. So he's going to give himself 3 will. He's got +1 will there, which will give him 4. I think the hunting horror's -2, so that'll give him a couple of dice to try and pass the horror check. Now, if he doesn't pass the horror check, he does have his golden trumpet, and we do have Leo Anderson's leadership ability, so we'll probably use that in order that he doesn't go insane. And then we're on the combat check, and we do have fisticuffs, and he does have quite a few clues. Okay, we'd prefer to shut and seal a gate with them, but let's kill this hunting horror, because we could use 4 clues, fisticuffs, and be guaranteed to actually kill that hunting horror. So I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to roll for it, obviously, because he's still got his inner beast. And what is it? He's got inner beast, and the crowbar is fine. I think it's magically resistant, not physically resistant. Yes, it's magical resistance, so he can use his crowbar. So we get +2 there, and +2 for inner beast, I think. So that's pretty good. So that's +4. So that'll be 6 dice. He's got to get 2 successes. Hopefully he get 2 successes anyway. I think it'll end up as 4 dice because it's -2, I think, the hunting horror. So 4 dice. Hopefully we get at least 1 success, and then we can use fisticuffs and a couple of clues and beat it. Yeah? So that'd be really cool. Unfortunately, it's not undead. Otherwise, he would have completed his personal story. but hopefully he will be able to get rid of an undead monster at some point. So that's what we're going to do with Jim. Next up is Leo Anderson, who will be our final investigator this upkeep. And here we are with Leo. As mentioned, he will be having a little bit of a trade with Tony, which should give him some cash. Now, he'll also have the newspaper assignment, which will have the Arkham Asylum ticked off. That means the Witch House next, but that's guarded. Yeah, we've got that moon beast and everything down there. So what we'll do is we'll leave that for the time being, and we'll send him to the curiosity shop because he's going to get some money off Tony as well. And as I mentioned, with who else we're sending there, George, we want if we can't get an elder sign, what we want is a decent weapon. I still think we need a couple of decent weapons because all we need is a monster surge again. The way I'm pulling monsters out, they're all nasty. So let's beef up on our weapons if we can. So that is it for Leo. That is it for the upkeep phase. Next up is the movement phase. And here we are with Tony Morgan. So he's going to go 1, 2 to Arkham Asylum. He's going to trade $9 to Leo plus the newspaper assignment. As you can see, we will then do the Arkham Asylum bit of it. Brilliant. Once he's done that, he will use his final 2 movement to go 1, 2 into the Bank of Arkham. That is it for Tony. Next up is George Barnaby. And here we are with George Barnaby. Just before he sets off, Joe Diamond is going to trade him $10. So he's going to end up with $27 to spend. If you recall, we've got to keep a bit of that money just in case somebody gets arrested. But let's give him the bulk of the money and let's use 3 movement points, 1, 2, 3, to get to the curiosity shop. He does have to exhaust fellow travellers to get there. That is it for George. Next up is Bob Jenkins. And here we are with Bob. He's just going to the second part of the underworld. That is it for Bob. After Bob, it is Joe Diamond. And here we are with Joe. Yes, another weird camera angle. Because it's the movement phase, he's going to spend X stamina to discard this card in order to remove 1 monster with X toughness from Arkham and return it to the Monster Cup. He is doing it with the Ghost, and the Ghost is 1 toughness. So that is going to cost him a single stamina, so let me sort that out. We at least get another stand back. Pentagram of Blood is discarded. So we'll put that over here. And 1 single stamina. So he's down to 5 stamina now. Having done that, he still has his movement, which is a mighty 6. So he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Right down here to the woods. That is it for Joe Diamond. Next up is Jacqueline Fine. And here we are with Jackie. She's just going to stay at Harney Jones's shack. Let's just get another one of these sanity, and then she can go on her travels next turn. Okay, that's it for Jackie. Next up is Wilson Richards. And here we are with Wilson. He's going to go 1, 2, 3 into Congregational Hospital, and that is it for his movement phase. After him, it is dun, 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 Jim Culver. And here we are with Jim and the Hunting Horror. So he's got to take it on. First of all, he is going to do the horror check, which is -1, possibility of losing 3 stamina. Now he's got 3 will, but he gets +1 will for persuade, so that's 4. -2, he's going to get 2 dice. So come on, Jim. Ah, he's failed. So he does lose 3 sanity, except what he's going to do, where is he? He's going to end up discarding his golden trumpet that already has a sanity on it. So he's going to take 2 more sanity onto there. So he loses his trumpet, and his final sanity will be soaked up by the leadership ability of Leo Anderson. So he's lost no sanity at all. Then what he's going to do is he's going to actually combat it. So it's -2 and a possibility of losing 4 stamina. So we're going to roll. He's going to get 4 dice. He gets 2 for Inner Beast, 2 for the crowbar, and 2 for his fight. -2, it's 4 dice. Come on, Jim. And he gets 2 successes anyway. Whew. So we didn't have to spend any of our clues with fisticuffs. So that's brilliant. The hunting horror is a trophy. So that's great. 2 toughness worth. And we've got rid of that. Unfortunately, he had to lose his golden trumpet. But I think it's worth it. It served its purpose. It took 3 sanity damage. Okay, brilliant. That is it for Jim. Next up is Leo Anderson. And here we are with Leo. He's going to go 1, 2, 3, and he's going to join George in the curiosity shop. I don't think they're going to trade, and that is it for the movement phase. Next up is the Arkham encounter phase. And here we are with Tony. And Tony is going to take a bank loan and $10. So that's it for Tony Morgan's Arkham encounter phase. Next up is George Barnaby. And here we are at the curiosity shop with George, where he is browsing with Leo. And what he's going to do is pick out 3 of these, and hopefully we'll get something funky. Let's do a cut. And let's see his first thing, Crystal of the Elder Things. We've seen that before. Rubbish. A Ritual Blade. +2 to combat checks, +1 to spell checks. Well, perhaps. And finally, the Milk of Shub Niggurath, which we keep pulling out. So we'll get rid of those 2. And we'll pay $5 for a Ritual Blade. Let's put that onto his player tray. And let's dig out $5. So there we are, $5. And he has bought himself a Ritual Blade. That is it for George Barnaby. Next up is, well, normally it would be Bob Jenkins, but he's in another world. So that means it is Joe Diamond. And here we are with Joe, and he's going to get sucked through that gate, and he's going to go to the Great Hall of Celiano. So we'll see him there in the Otherworld encounter phase. Next up, after Joe, it is Jackie Fine. And here we are with Jackie. She's going to take advantage of hospitality again, and she's going to get herself an extra sanity, which puts her up to 6. That is it for her. Next up is Wilson Richards. And here we are with Wilson at Congregational Hospital. So he has to have a encounter, which is the blue Central Hill deck. Here we go. Let's give it a quick shuffle and a quick cut. Congregational Hospital. One of the doctors is struggling to wrestle an object from the grip of an unmoving man on a gurney. I'm sorry, we're a little short on staff right now. Could you help me? If you help, make a fight -2 check to pry the item free. Well, we're not going to help because his fight is 2 anyway, so he's going to fail. So it is an if you help. So as soon as I knew it was a fight -2 check, I knew we'd fail it. So he is not going to help. So we don't have to do anything because it's an if statement. Okie doke. Anybody wants to know what the success and fail was? There you go. And Wilson, however, is not going to help because he knows he hasn't got the fight for it. Okay, so that is Wilson. After Wilson, it is Jim Culver. And here we are with Jim. He's in the graveyard, so we need the Rivertown deck, which is the purple deck. And the graveyard. Carefully stepping inside a mausoleum, you are horrified to hear the door slam shut behind you, locking you in with the corpses and coffins. All night you remain trapped, jumping at every soft scratching sound and low moan of the wind. Stay here next turn. In addition, you must pass a will -1 check. Oh, we've been delayed. Damn it. So we'll put him on his side. And we've got a will -1 check. Well, his will was 4. So he's going to get 3 dice. Come on, Jim. And he gets 2 successes, so at least he's passed that. Or search the madness deck. Well, we're not searching the madness deck because we passed it. So that is great. I'll just stand up the elder thing that I've just knocked over. So he is delayed next turn though, which is a bit of a downer. Okay, so that is it for Jim. Next up after Jim is Leo Anderson. And here we are with Leo, and he's going to do exactly the same thing that George has just done. So let's give the unique item deck a shuffle and a cut. And draw 3. First up is the Kabbalah of Sabaoth. I think that's to get a skill. Next up is the Fetch Stick. Ooh, I think this is good. I know it's good in Eldritch Horror. Magical weapon, any phase, exhaust before making a combat check to gain +7 to that check. So we'll put that to one side. The Kabbalah of Sabaoth is just a skill thing, I think. And the Staff of the Pharaoh. Another magical weapon, +3 to combat checks, any phase, exhaust to cast 1 spell as if both your hands were free. Well, very nice, but we'll get rid of the Kabbalah of Sabaoth and the Staff of the Pharaoh. And we'll spend $8 on the Fetch Stick, I think. So put that onto Leo's tray and put $10 in and get $2 back. So while we didn't get an Elder Sign, we have got a couple of weapons. So that's pretty good. Okay, so that is it for Leo. That is it for the Arkham encounter phase. Next up is the Otherworld encounter phase. And here we are at the Otherworld encounter phase with Bob. And while we're here and we can see the rifts, obviously Wilson did have an encounter at Congregational Hospital, so we can actually put that back in the bag. So we'll get rid of that now. Okay, so Bob, he's in the Underworld and he needs a blue or a green gate card. And we get a blue, but we do not have the Underworld, so we've got other. The strain is too much for your mind, lose 1 sanity. Is there any way you can get out of it? You can't use Leo's ability because Jim's already used it. Let's have a look. No, he's just going to have to lose a sanity. So, unlucky, he's down to 3 sanity. But it could be worse and he's coming out next turn. So that is it for Bob. Next up is Joe Diamond. And here we are with Joe. He's in the Great Hall of Celiano. Another blue or a green. So first up we get another green. And we don't have a Great Hall of Celiano though. A glimpse of home gives you hope. Gain 1 sanity. So he gets 1 back. And he's actually, yes, he's actually short. So this will put him back up to full sanity. So him and Bob have just swapped sanity. So there you go. So what the game takes away, the game gives back. Brilliant stuff. Right-o, so that is it for the Otherworld encounter phase. Next up is, oh yes, it's the Laugh and Chuckle phase. And here we are at the Laugh and Chuckle phase. So what we may as well do is we may as well just leave this here and pick up the bad news. Charity case, headline, and it's a burst, but it's a burst at the Esoteric Order of Dagon. Unfortunately, our gamble of not putting anything in Innsmouth has backfired slightly because we've got the Esoteric Order of Dagon and we have a gate appearing there. Right, okay, let's get this out of the way and let's sort a gate out. So we'll need a gate stand and the gate stack. There we go. let's get in this way. So, Esoteric Order of Dagon, and the gate we're going to get is it's a stamina gate, another time, quite easy, +0. At least it's not going to move around like that bloody Silver Twilight Lodge gate. And another time. So, diamond symbol as well. We go up to... Dun, dun, dun. And we need a couple of monsters, as normal. So you want to pull out this time. Hopefully it's something not quite as bad as normal. So what have we got here? A Yithian. Bloody Yithian. And again, we have... What's this one? Barnabas Marsh. Well, how thematic's that? Barnabas Marsh, wandering around Innsmouth. The Esoteric Order of Dagon. Oh, he's a beast. Magical resistance, physical resistance. If you pass a combat check against Barnabas Marsh, return him to the box and remove 1 Doom token from the Doom track. Well, he is pretty tough. -2 or lose 2 sanity. -3 or lose 3 stamina. And he's 2 toughness. Yes, he is a beast. The Yithian, we've had this before, but yes, we fail a horror check against the Yithian, we're lost in time and space. It's -1, 3 toughness, -2 on the combat check, and you can lose 2 stamina. Right, I put these on different coloured stands because they do not count towards the Arkham monster limit. But won't be a second. I'm back, so we've got Barnabas Marsh and the Yithian up there. Let's get rid of the monster bag. We don't need that. Well, hopefully won't need that. And where did I put the Mythos card? There it is. Oop, take that away as well. Okay, so we get clues at Devil Reef and the police station. So Devil Reef gets a clue, as does the police station. There we are. Take this back. And what else? What else? Monster movement. Oh, you bloody... What's it again? We've got hexagons moving. So that's the Elder thing. And it's moving on white. Oh no, that's a diamond. We could be alright. It was diamonds we got last time, not hexagons, wasn't it? Yeah, we got rid of all the hexagons. So, no hexagon movement, that's fine. Slashes move though on black. So that goes up here. This goes to Rivertown, and of course traps Jim. But Jim is delayed anyway. So those 2 slash monsters have moved. It's a triangle and a plus up in Innsmouth. And we've got star monster movement. Got no stars, but we do have the Yithian. So the Yithian is going to move on black. Goes to Church Green. And we could do with killing it. We don't want it going into a vortex. The good thing about Innsmouth is the vortexes are pretty much tied to Devil Reef and Your Hat and Fly. There is one that you can get to from Joe Sargent's bus service, but hopefully we'll be okay. But that Yithian is a pain and it's going to be difficult to kill, so we might have to send somebody up there who's got a decent weapon. Right, I think that's all the monster movement. Let's do rifts while we're here. And which one is this? Just let me check. So it must be this one here. Yep, there it is on there. Bottom rift, top row. And where are we going? I think it's somewhere where we've been before. It's the Hall School. There we go. So that's there. We haven't prevented a gate from opening, so we don't have to bother with the Deep One Rising track. And it's a headline, I think. where'd I put it? Down here, so we don't have to bother with the act cards either. So let's just read it. Charity case headline: the investigator with the lowest sanity, the first player breaks ties, may move to Arkham Asylum and be delayed to restore his sanity to its maximum. I think we're doing pretty well actually. Let's have a look. Bob's got 3, so he's short. George has got 5, so it can't be him. There is only, yeah, it's only Bob, but we don't want Bob to do that because we want Bob to come out. Yeah, it's may move, so we're not going to move anybody. And yeah, that'll do. Okay, so that is it for turn 9, and that was okay. I think that went pretty well. Okay, Jim getting delayed is a bit of a bummer, but what could have happened, you know, with that hunting horror, I was quite chuffed with what I did there. I think it worked out quite well. Getting fisticuffs to him and everything, using Jackie's psychic ability, so I think that was a pretty good wrinkle. We didn't end up using fisticuffs, but I was quite chuffed with that as an idea. He has lost his golden trumpet, so it's been a bit of a bad turn for Jim, but as I say, it could have been a lot worse. So at least he managed to defeat that horrible monster. He's got trapped in Rivertown, but as I say, he's delayed anyway, so he's not going anywhere. And we did get a couple of decent unique items. They'll come in very handy. We're going to have to send somebody up to Innsmouth now, which I was hoping to avoid. They're going to have to kill that Yithian and Barnabas Marsh, and hopefully they can get into that gate. Now, the only one who's got enough clue, well, there's 2 people with enough clues. That's Jim and George. I don't fancy George going up there. But George might be able to sneak his way in, so perhaps we'll send him. He can go 1, 2, 3. He can get to Joe Sargent's bus service next turn. So, and he might sneak his way in. Although Barnabas Marsh is -3. So perhaps we'd better send somebody else up there. Maybe somebody like Tony Morgan can go up there, perhaps pick up one of those weapons in trade and just head up there and start killing some of these monsters. We do have George to stop people getting arrested, so, and he's still got quite a bit of money left, so we might be able to do that. The other good thing is we've got Bob coming out next turn. Hopefully he'll be able to shut that gate, and that'll be absolutely fantastic. That'll give us 4 seals. And not far behind him is Joe, who's in the first part of the Great Hall of Saliano. Hopefully we can get him through unscathed, and with any luck he'll come out and he will shut that woods gate, and then we only need 1 more gate to shut. So let's see what we can do. Oh, we got gate movement, didn't we? We had slash movement, so this gate actually moves. So we've now got a gate in, I thought this had happened. We've now got a gate actually in French Hill Streets, so we won't be able to shut that now. Well, we can shut it, but we can't seal it now. Yeah, I think you can only seal gates when they're in a location, so it's just going to wander the streets, unfortunately, so that's a bit of a blow. But other than that, pretty good turn. So yes, let's get a few more gate seals on the board and look to close this out. We're going to get a bad Mythos card at some point, but hopefully we'll be able to knock it back with Jackie's ability. So that is it for turn 9. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for all the subscriptions, thanks for all the likes, for all the dislikes, and for all the views. Thank you so much. Thanks so much for all the help and support, and as always, if you've noticed any errors whatsoever, please give me a shout. I may have missed something, so if I have, please let me know and I will do my best to fix it for next turn. Thanks as well to anybody who's been across to Board Game Links to watch the videos over there, and anybody who's gone to BGG to watch the videos there. If you've made a comment on the BGG thread, or if you've liked it or dropped me some geek gold, thank you so much. Okay, so as I say, that is it for turn 9. I do hope that you'll join me for turn 10, but until then, this is me, Catweazle, signing off. Toodaloo.